Hi, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be talking about the HOYA WAYETII, this beautiful, beautiful houseplant here. So, are you all ready to dig in? Let's grow! This beautiful Hoya goes by the botanical name HOYA WAYETII, and her common name is the green Hoya. There is a variegated version available, just beautiful, much slower growing we have found, but this solid green one has like red margins. And before I drop her, because I like to talk with my hands, I'm going to set her down over here and bring you in up close so we can talk about some of her plant description, describe her and her characteristics, and then even plant care. So let me go set her over here and then we'll bring you in up close. The green Hoya is a beautiful and easy to care for houseplant. She doesn't grow fast, we have found, but she can get to about 3 feet overall. And she has these wonderful dark green, very long lanceolate leaves, and they have red margins. If you get her closer to a bright light source, the edges of the leaves are going to get a little reddish tinge. So she has like this really cool three-dimensional look to her leaves because that red edge really helps pronounce her from afar. But just look how dark green she is too though, right? So pretty, so beautiful actually. Love this plant. Ours has not grown very fast. We have kept ours in medium light, and we'll go into plant care in a minute. But just to talk a little bit more about her characteristics, she's a trailing vine, and she's native to the Philippines. And she does have this deep maroon flower. Ours has not flowered for us, but I'll show you a picture here, and you can see the flower of this plant. It's so pretty. Really, really cool. Has this deep reddish color. It's just beautiful. I've seen one on a friend's Hoya, but ours, like I said, has not flowered, which I can't wait one day. So I think what I'm going to do, and when we talk a little about plant care, I think there's lighting is key to getting these puppies to flower, and also humidity. So the plant overall has a waxy feel. All Hoyas, or most Hoyas that we have grown, have a waxy leaf, which means that this plant can hold water in its leaves and not evaporate them out very fast. So this plant has this really cool feel to it. It's like a heavy leaf. It's not very light. Even though they're little, they're just so cool and thick. Just beautiful. So now that we've talked about the main characteristics of this plant, let's go into plant care. In caring for your green Hoya, let's start with lighting. You're going to want to provide her with medium to high light, and that's going to be between 700 and 1,000 foot candles. You can go higher, 800, 900 to 1,000 foot candles, and she'll respond a little bit better, but she can also handle lower light. We found that out with a lot of our Hoyas. They can do south of 500 foot candles and still grow. So it won't flower for you as much or hardly at all, but they'll still be a wonderful addition in your home. If you have an area that doesn't get a lot of light, these make great houseplants. Just so beautiful. So now that we talked about lighting, let me mention on lighting, you can put her on a south-facing window or a north-facing window. We have ours near a north-facing window. And in concert with lighting, we recommend that you rotate your plant 90 degrees every couple months. That way it'll give her a nice full look, and you won't have lopsidedness to your plant. Now let's talk about soil. This plant, being an epiphyte, wants a well-drained mix. So we recommend a soil mix in this ratio. We recommend 4 parts African violet mix, 2 parts orchid mix, 1 part worm castings, and 1 part perlite, with a teaspoon of Bigfoot mycorrhizal, which is a beneficial bacteria and fungus that helps the roots uptake nutrients. And so we like you to mix that all together. It's similar to splash and the soil mixes they like to grow in. So it really helps with that well-drained mix, that this plant will not get root rot, because root rot is the enemy of houseplants. And this custom mix is going to help your plant drain well. Now for watering, we have found that ours likes to be watered gingerly, not very often. So we like to water ours every 12 to 14 days, at like almost every 2 weeks. But we always test. We put our finger in there and we'll dig down about an inch or so because this is a small container, and we wait and we feel if our finger comes back with moisture and some soil on it. We know that she's got water in there still, some moisture, and we give her a day or two to dry out some more before we water, and we'll test again. So it's very important that I'd rather you underwater your Hoya than overwater your Hoya. That's very important. If you underwater your Hoya, they may curl real tight. Or if you overwater, they'll do that too. The Wayetti will show you those symptoms of saying, hey, I don't like this. But it's always better to err on the side of underwatering than overwatering. So that soil mix, again, that I just mentioned is going to help you with drainage. Make sure you water her every 2 weeks or so. And now let's talk about fertilizer. You can give her a well-balanced 20-20-20 liquid fertilizer in April and September. But you can also add in a bloom booster in July and August, and we'll give you written care instructions in a minute. We'll give you all this written out so you can get this and take a screenshot if you'd like. But that will help encourage her to try to bloom for you if you add in that bloom booster in the summer months. Now for humidity, she likes higher humidity. She wants to be north of 50%. In a home, we're going to have typically 40%. She wants around 60%. So you could put a pebble tray underneath her to help with the humidity, or keep her in a bathroom if you have a nice light. We have leca, which is this material here. In the base of this container, there's another container in here, in the decorative container, outer container here. There's leca down there. And when the water drips out of the base, when we water her, it fills up down here at the base, and here's just like an example of the glass one here, and that leca will absorb that water and release it into this, and around the edges here we get that humidity. And we've done the same thing with our splashes. We put leca in the base of our outer containers, and we found that that's kind of like a built-in pebble tray, and it's kind of cool. So for humidity, you want to make sure you try to get that higher. If you want, you could use a mister. That's gonna help yours respond. But ours have done very well. We haven't really babied her at all, and she's just done great. Now on temperature, she can do fine in a home AC of anywhere between 60 and 80 degrees, no problem. And on pests, we haven't found any, zero, nada, nil, but Hoyas do tend to get mealybugs. So you got to make sure you check and look for mealybugs, those little white fuzzy bugs that will get in the nodes here, and they can just decimate a Hoya. Our tricolors tend to get the mealybugs. We've been lucky, we haven't had them in years, but we've had mealybug issues in our Hoyas in the past. So now that I've covered all those things, we're going to go into written care instructions, encapsulate all that. You can review that, take a screenshot, and then we're going to come back and do a quick closing at the end. All right, let's go into that step. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any thoughts or questions, just leave them in the comment section below, and I'll make sure I get back to you. And until the next video, bye. Please remember to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And tell your friends and family. We post videos weekly. Thanks.